All right, like I said in the last episode, that in this new episode that I'll be talking about conception. I listed out the things that we'll be discussing bit by bit, episode by episode, and today's episode will be discussing on conception. When conception occurs, how does conception result in pregnancy? What is embryology? And the developmental stages of the embryo. Okay, so first of all, as a woman, as a mature woman that is ready to get pregnant and take the responsibility associated with pregnancy, you ask yourself, what is conception? What am I getting myself into? And we're told that conception is when the sperm travels up through the vagina into the uterus and fertilizes an egg in the fallopian tube of a matured woman. When does conception occur? Conception occurs during the time a woman is ovulating. And ovulation usually occurs around the midpoint of a woman's menstrual cycle. If it is a 28-day cycle, it can occur around 14 days. But usually, no, it varies as a result of some circumstances like mood, sickness, and some environmental factors. Menstrual cycle varies with individual. Yes, not everyone is not the same. Everyone is not the same. Some may have 21 days, some 26 days, others 28, 30, even 45 days. Yes. And your cycle, if you know your cycle, it helps you to know when your ovulation occurs. For those with 21 days cycle, sometimes your ovulation might occur during the time you menstruate and you will not know. That is why you need to be careful. You need to know when you are ovulating, because it is only ovulation that can assure you pregnancy. And for fertilization to take place, a woman has to release a healthy egg from the ovary, which travels to the fallopian tube in wait for a healthy sperm. Not all sperm can impregnate you. Not all sperm can impregnate a woman. A man with a low sperm count, a man with a watery sperm, even if he should release 300 times, the sperm will still not do the work. The sperm has to be very motile, and released egg can stay up to 12 to 24 hours where it can be fertilized by sperm. And medically, it has been proven that sperm can stay up to 48 to 72 hours in a woman's fallopian tube. That is nearly 3 days. And it is only one sperm that does this work, and others die off. And you should be careful, because if there is any possible infection, fertilization may not take place. And the next question we are going to ask ourselves is, how does this conception result in pregnancy? We're told that after fertilization has taken place in the fallopian tube, cells in the embryo begin to develop rapidly. After about 7 days, the embryo, known as the blastocyte, travels down to embed in the uterus, where it is nourished till term. The pregnancy hormones will come into play to nourish the growing fetus, and pregnancy takes off and the uterus grows. And embryology, it starts with the gametes. You know that gametes are sets of cells carrying genetic information in form of chromosomes. A human being naturally has 46 chromosomes, a pair of 23 chromosomes from each parent. That is, since since conception, it involves two individuals, the man and the woman. Each has 23 chromosomes. 23 chromosomes. And these chromosomes carries hereditary and genetic information that produces our unique characteristics, such as our hair color, height, voice, behavior, and so on. And the two chromosomes are the X and the XY. Understand? The female carry the XX chromosome and the male carry the XY chromosome. In mating, that is in sex, the female releases an X and the man releases either the X or the XY. Do you understand? So the father of the baby decides the sex of the baby. If he releases X or Y chromosome, it now fuses X of the female. Abnormality may occur if there is a fusion of double X and Y chromosomes. And there are stages in this development of the embryo. There are three prenatal periods. The first 2 weeks are the pre-embryonic periods, weeks 3 to 8. The fetal development. This happens at week 4. The fetal development, the fetus here undergoes so many changes throughout the period of maturization during pregnancy at 4 week. Here you see the nervous system, that is the brain and the spinal cord, the heart, the arm and the leg bones. The baby is about 0.64 cm long. So, and at 8 weeks, all major organs have begun to form. Baby's heart begins to beat, arms and legs grow stronger, fingers and toes have begun to form, sex organs also begin to form. At 12 weeks, eyelids are closed to protect the eyes. The nerves and the muscles begins to work together. The fetus can now make a fist. The 16 weeks, this is the second trimester. The fetus continues to grow. Skins begin to form and nearly translucent. Fetus begins sucking motion with mouth. That is sucking reflex. And then your baby is about 8 to 85.05 gram. At 20 weeks, the fetus is more active. Eyebrows, eyelashes, fingernails, all these begin to form. The baby can hear and swallow. At 24 weeks, bone marrow begins to make blood cells. Taste buds form on baby's tongue. Hair begins to grow on fetus head. If the fetus is a boy, his testicles begin to descend in the scrotum. If she is a girl, uterus, ovaries are in place, and a lifetime supply of eggs have formed in the ovary. Wow. At 32 weeks, fetus bones are soft and fully formed. Movement and kicking increase. The eyes can open and close. At 36 weeks, body fat increases. Fetus is getting bigger and has less space to move around. And then your baby is about 274 to 295 gram. So at 40 weeks, that is by the end of the 37 weeks, baby is considered fully formed. Fetus organs are capable of functioning on their own. And as due to the date, that is their due date, baby's head begins to turn down and positions for birth. And what? Pregnancy is ready.